Dallas County home prices saw a double-digit increase last month. Mortgage rates are trying their best to get back up to 7%. Housing inventory had another small increase this week, and inventory has been slowly growing as rates have been rising again, but we still have not seen any meaningful increase in the number of people listing their homes for sale. We're covering all of this and much more in today's weekly market update. My name is Michael. I'm a real estate agent here in Dallas, and every Monday I give you a weekly update covering all of Dallas and Collin counties as well as the national market. We're looking for trends. We're tracking mortgage rates as well as mortgage purchase applications, as that's our best leading indicator to what demand will look like 30 to 90 days from now. We're looking at things like median list price, days on market, how many homes are having price decreases, what's inventory looking like, and if you stick around until the end, it's my favorite part, the top 10 ranked charts of the hottest and coolest cities and zip codes in all of Dallas and Collin counties. If this sounds like something you're into, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're looking to buy or sell in the Dallas area, whether it's next week or next year, I'd love to connect. I've helped every one of these yellow dots find their little piece of Texas, and I'd love to help you too. Just call, text, or shoot me an email. All that info is in the description below. Okay, today is April 1st. Let's see what the data is telling us, and if this is an old video, you can click the playlist here. It'll take you to the latest weekly market update. First up is market news. It is the first of the month, so we can now see last month's data, so let's take a look. Okay, here it is. I know this probably looks crazy on your screen, but I'm going to walk through it. This is straight off the MLS, so this is what happened last month in March 2024. I pulled up Dallas, Collin, and Tarrant counties. I know a lot of you watching have been asking about Tarrant, so I can't cover all the data, but I can do this. So starting with the average sales price, you can see obviously prices are increasing, and this is the actual closed price, not the list price. In Dallas County, we saw a 13.7% jump from last year, and this is very surprising to me. I thought we would see smaller. You can see in Collin County a 2, Tarrant County 2.7%. That's much more of what I expected, but Dallas County had a huge jump of 13.7%. It's totally normal for prices to be going up this time of year, not 13.7%. But if you're looking at the chart, you will see last year, March had a decent sized dip, not a huge one, but that's definitely contributing, whereas you see here in Collin County, prices were increasing. In Tarrant, they dropped a little, but it was quite a sharp drop comparatively, at least in Dallas. So that's contributing to the 13.7%. Again, this is year over year data. Although even month over month, we went from 501 to about 537. That is a significant jump. Looking at the average days on market, we can see they're coming down pretty significantly. That's not actually what we want to see. We're needing days on market to go up. At least the good news is in Dallas County, it went up by 4.9%, and that's year over year. But in the 40s is fine, but we want higher days on market because we want inventory to stack up. The longer houses sit on the market, the more time new inventory has to stack up. And to get out of this weird market, we need more inventory however we can get it. But just know, as of last month, we saw a pretty sharp drop in the days on market. Let's look at the closed sales. Closings are slowly starting to climb back up as well, but as you can see, we're down significantly, around 17, 16, and 14%. That is just the number of homes being sold. So sales volume is clearly down, yet prices are still climbing. So that's clear evidence that there are still just too many buyers for too few houses, even though there are way less buyers now than in a normal market, which again is why we don't want rates to drop yet. We need more inventory. As you can see, we're down 17% in volume, yet prices jumped 13.6%. So the very last thing we need is for rates to come down. We cannot sustain any more demand until we get some more inventory stacking. Then lastly, I want to take a look at new listings. Okay, new listings are climbing in Dallas County and significantly in Collin County, 13% more new listings, which probably contributes to it having a slower price increase than Dallas County. But this is good. More new listings plus higher days on market will mean more inventory. More supply means less competition between buyers, which will insulate prices from shooting up when rates finally drop. Okay, that's what happened in the DFW markets last month. Okay, let's move on, starting with national housing inventory. This week we had an increase of just 4,596 homes for sale in the US, which gets us up to a total of 517,355 homes. And so far this year, it's looking more and more likely that we actually had our yearly inventory bottom way back here on February 16th. So barring any huge drop in mortgage rates that brings in a flood of demand, I think it's very likely we've seen the bottom, which is important because it would make this year's inventory bottom the closest that we've been to a normal market since COVID happened. When COVID happened, it started the inventory bottom in March and it got all the way to like mid-April last year. So this would be the first time we're back. Normal market would be end of January, beginning of February would be the inventory bottom. So February 16th is a week or two away from a normal market. So that's good news. Now we're looking at new listings. This week there were 11,412 more homes listed than the corresponding week last year, which is this bottom red line and the top dark red line. So you can see there's a big gap there. So good news, we're way above last year. Bad news is we've basically all year just been trending pretty much exactly where we were in 2022, which is not good enough if we want to get to a normal market. We definitely need more people listing their homes than this, but we do have the upside of seeing higher days on market since then. So basically half of the equation, the higher days on market, is working in our favor and helping us stack up some inventory. The other half of the equation, we need more listings. We're not there yet. So we're just very slowly headed in the right direction. Then the last thing we cover nationally is the percentage of homes having price decreases. Every year it's normal for a third of homes to take a price cut before selling. Looking at the national chart, we're at 31.9% of homes having a price decrease this week. Last year we got as high as 39.2. The year before that we got as high as 43.2. But it's normal for this number to start increasing this time of year. And like I've been saying, that's a good thing. We need higher days on market for inventory to stack up. So all we're looking for on this chart for the rest of the year is going to be aggressive price swings in either direction, and that's going to be 100% dependent on mortgage rates. But don't be surprised, this number should be climbing every week until probably November. Okay, let's move on to mortgage rates. So we started last week at a 6.92. Of course, we had a holiday. We ended at a 6.91. But I can tell you by looking at the 10-year today, let's take a look. Yes, looking at the 10-year, we closed down here. This was our 6.91, and today we are going absolutely straight up. These rates were a little above 7%, both of these two tops. I think this one got as high as like a 7.16. So it is very likely we're going to be back at or above 7% rates when this registers today. I think that's usually around 3 or 4 o'clock, but yeah, obviously straight up. And I don't know if this has to do with jobs numbers. I know this week we have jobs reports coming out, so I guess the expectation is probably unemployment has not gone down at all and there are still too many jobs. We'll have to wait till the report comes out, but that's what the bond market is saying right now. So mortgage rates are going up. That's what we're doing this week, at least on Monday. Just to explain a little further, it's my belief that all the Fed cares about at this point is not inflation anymore. I think regardless of the inflation numbers, what they're really looking for is unemployment to go up. I think there are too many people employed in their mind. Too many people making too much money they think is going to lead to more inflation. So I don't think until they start seeing unemployment climb and things start breaking, I don't think they're going to drop the federal funds rate. Now regarding mortgage purchase applications. As expected, mortgage rates didn't move much last week. So last week we saw no change in the number of people applying for mortgages. It was our first flat week this year. Although you should know, and you see this in all the sales numbers we just looked at, we are still 15% down year over year in the number of people applying for mortgages, which coincides pretty closely to the number of closings. I believe the number of closings that we just looked at earlier was down around like a 16%. Okay, that's it for national news. Before we move on to the local market data, if you're considering buying a home in the Dallas area in 2024, 2 things. Number 1, I'm now doing a weekly online home buying webinar. This is for anyone who is even thinking about buying a home in the DFW market in the next year. If that's you, click the link in the description, sign up, or you can watch an instant replay. And number 2, I've developed a max affordability calculator. This will very quickly and easily help you get into the ballpark of how much home should you actually be looking for based on your specific budget. It will give you several different options to choose from, and it takes into account everything all the way down to your tax bracket. This is free to you, so please use it. If you want to learn more, you can watch this video next. Okay, now we're moving on to the local markets. Let's start with the MLS data of what happened last week. Starting with Dallas County, there were 499 homes listed in the last week. That's 16 more than last week. 350 closings, that's 10 more than last week. Of the homes that closed, 86 were immediate sales, meaning they contracted within the first week. That's 3 less than the previous week. 350 homes went under contract. That's 57 less than the previous week. In total, there are 2,505 homes either under contract or in pending status. That's 52 less than last week. Now moving on to Collin County, we had 290 listings. That's 134 less than last week. 328 closings. That's 74 more than last week. Of the homes that sold, 96 were immediate sales. That's 37 more than last week. 212 homes went under contract. That's 23 less than last week. In total, there are 1,869 homes either under contract or in pending status. That's 93 less than last week. So a slightly slower week in Dallas, but a much hotter week up in Collin County. Okay, now let's move on to the Market Action Index. If you see my videos, the Market Action Index is just one easy to read graphic with a number that takes into account all of this information. Anything a 30 or below is a buyer's market. Above a 30, we're just asking how much of a seller's market are we in. Remember, we're always looking for trends. It's very clear and very normal at this time of the year that prices are trending upwards. So as we saw last week, there was a dip, but now it's right back up. The point is we're just looking for the trend. The median list price very obviously is trending upward. Median days on market holding steady. Number of homes having price decreases has been very steady, around 36%. Inventory very slowly climbing. Let's see, on December 22nd, it's still not to where it was in December. Like I said, it's climbing just very, very slowly. We need a lot more inventory than this. And the Market Action Index had a slight drop this week, but we're still at 45, so I would call that no change. But all this is showing is that everything looks totally normal for the spring market. At this time of the year, prices should start going up. That's exactly what's happening. Let's take a look at Collin County. Collin County, very similar story. Look at the median list price taking off again this week up to $590. And you got to understand, back on March 1st, it was just $565. Median price of new listings as well, ticking back up. Again, the trend is up. That's what's supposed to happen this time of year. Their median days on market has been lower than Dallas. They're at 35. Same price decreases, almost no change for a long time, just been hovering around 34%. Their inventory also very slowly increasing. But the one absolutely crazy thing about Collin County that you need to know is a lot of it is new construction. And in Collin County, this very week, 9.92% of homes had a price increase. Now, I did the actual numbers, what this means, because when you take out 10% of all the homes and just factor in how much of that is new construction, I actually did the numbers on this, and back when we were at like 8%, that 8% weekly price increase equated to about 1/3 of new construction homes having a price increase every single week. So this week, presumably, we had more than 1/3 of new construction homes in Collin County having a price increase. So that is crazy, and I say it every week, but what this means is whatever the builders are seeing there on the ground is telling them there is enough demand coming that it's time to increase prices every single week at this point. And I'll also say, because it's April 1st, a lot of builders just changed their incentive. A lot of them will change on the 1st of the month. And I actually got one under contract yesterday that my buyers literally contracted because the incentives were huge. And they were like, we don't want to miss out on this. We'll contract tonight. Part of their incentive was $20,000 towards closing costs and buying down the rate. And that's been on the builder's website for probably 2 months. And I go and look today, and that banner is completely gone. So I don't know if those incentives are entirely gone, or maybe they're going to come out with something later in the month, but it was $20,000 yesterday and it's totally gone from the website today. So congrats to my buyers for contracting, but that also shows me it looks like incentives are getting smaller, which would coincide with the fact that they're increasing prices on more than 1/3 of their homes every single week at this point. So if you're looking for new construction, don't expect the incentives are going to stay forever. Now, the one thing helping you is that rates are still high, but if rates drop at all, I would expect more and more incentives to go away. Okay, now we're moving on to the top 10 rank charts. The zip codes are not loading this week. I don't know why. I'll keep trying, but no, we got a data loading error. But at least we can see the top 10 hottest and coolest cities in all of Dallas and Collin County. These are ranked using that same market action index. Remember, a 30 or below is a buyer's market. Starting with the hottest cities, Lewisville, Texas takes the #1 spot. It heated up one. Coppell cooled off one, so those two switched places. Grapevine remained in the #3 spot. Plano heats up 2. Carrollton cools off 1. Ferris cools off 1. Richardson heats up 2. Saxe cools off 1. Allen cools off 1. And Garland remains the #10 hottest city in all of Dallas and Collin County. Now we're moving on. We're going to do the same thing for the coolest markets, and hopefully the zip codes will be back to work in next week. But Van Alstyne remains the only buyer's market in all of Dallas and Collin County at a 28.72, and then Blue Ridge cooled off 1 this week. Leonard cools off 1. Nevada cools off 2. Prosper remains. Lavon cools off 4 spots. Whitewright heats up 5. Rockwall cools off 1. Rowlett heats up 1. And Seagoville heats up 3 spots to take the hottest city on the coolest cities list. And again, this is a 39.02, so significantly hotter than a buyer's market, which is a 30 or below. But these are the top 10 coolest cities. Remember, if you're looking to buy or sell in the Dallas area this year, call, text, or shoot me an email. All that is in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.